The internet runs on code.
But code isn't enough.
Behind every deploy is a race against complexity.
Cloud scale, cost spike. AI rewrites the rules.
Tools break, titles change.
This is the world of DevOps, cloud, and software at scale.
Built on sleepless nights.
On-call alerts, silent fixes.
We don't just build features. We build the backbone of the modern world.
This is Run It Bear Podcast. Subscribe. Ship smarter, sleep better.
You're listening to Run It Bear Developer Podcast, where we strip tech down to its core. Each episode blends insights from our expert engineers, the developer community, and the support of AI.
Hello and welcome back to a new deep dive.
Hey there.
Hope your week's going okay. Or, at least not plagued by some rogue semicolon somewhere.
Hey, the classic.
Yeah. So today we're not diving into, the latest framework drama or why your build failed again. Nope.
Something different then.
Yeah, something a bit more personal, actually. This deep dive, the source, is basically my own digital battlefield, my journey away from Obsidian.
Ah, Obsidian. Okay, interesting. A lot of people swear by it.
Exactly. So think of this as a sort of a post-mortem on that whole setup for me.
Gotcha.
So our mission, if you will, is to kind of unpack why I switched. We'll talk about the initial pull, why I went all in.
The honeymoon phase.
Totally. Then the cracks starting to show, the pain points. And eventually what I needed in a replacement will land on what I'm using now.
Sounds good. A real user story.
Yeah. And hey, are you enjoying these deep dives? Let us know in the comments. Yeah. Share your own tool stories. We'd love to hear them.
Definitely. Okay, so Obsidian. You called it a personal bat cave. What was the initial magic? Especially for someone with a dev background.
Man. It was the control. Pure control. Local first storage. Yes, please. My data on my machine.
That's a big one for developers.
Huge. And the markdown editor was just fast. Lightning fast. Plain text is sacred, right? That felt like the core philosophy.
Absolutely. And that whole DIY, build your own system vibe.
Yeah.
The plugins.
Oh, yeah. That was like Markdown meets Minecraft. Seriously. The community just exploded.
So many plugins.
Over 1,000, almost instantly it felt like. It was kind of wild. It felt like you were building your own custom IDE for your thoughts.
And adding features constantly.
Yeah, leveling up. But, sometimes those level ups came with unexpected side effects later.
Right. But before that, the backlinks. That's often touted as the killer feature, that private internet of ideas.
That was the magic bullet initially. Seriously. Suddenly, notes weren't just files. They were connected.
Connected thinking.
Yeah. It felt like refactoring spaghetti code in my brain into something, more structured, a graph. Ideas just clicked together in new ways. It was pretty cool.
So, flying high for a while. The early game, as you put it, was fun.
Totally fun. Everything just worked. It felt powerful.
Okay, but then, the survival game analogy. The grind hits you like a brick wall.
Right.
When did things start to feel less fun and more like work?
The first real headache was sync. Just keeping everything consistent across my laptop, my phone, my tablet.
The infamous sync problem.
Yeah. It started feeling like a part-time job.
So this sync drama, what was the issue? You tried the official service, DIY.
I tried the official sync. It worked, mostly, but it felt a bit bolted on. And it cost money, which, fine, but it still had hiccups.
And the DIY routes? Dropbox, Git.
Oh boy. Dropbox sometimes had weird conflicts. It's Git. Merge conflicts for notes, seriously.
Yeah, that's overhead you don't want.
Exactly. My second brain needed a sync therapist. That's when you know something's wrong. You're managing the plumbing, not thinking.
Right. And beyond sync.
Yeah.
You mentioned scaling chaos.
Yeah. As the number of notes grew, we're talking 500 plus, Obsidian's flexibility became a problem.
How so?
I ended up with folders, inside folders, tags trying to act like folders. It was just a mess. I'd get lost in my own system.
Sounds like trying to navigate a massive, undocumented code base.
Exactly. You spend more time trying to find stuff than using it.
And then plugin fatigue. That sounds familiar to anyone relying on community ecosystems.
Oh, yeah. That was the other shoe dropping. Plugins were amazing until they weren't.
Updates breaking things.
Constantly. An update for plugin A breaks plugin B. Or a developer just vanishes, abandons their plugin, and suddenly a key part of your workflow is just gone or broken.
Uncertainty.
Total uncertainty. It felt like my note system needed version control just to stay alive.
Like pinning dependencies for your brain notes.
Right. It got to the point where I felt like I was building my whole thought process on random scripts I found on Stack Overflow years ago. You just know it's going to blow up eventually.
So the maintenance burden started outweighing the benefits.
Pretty much. More time tinkering and fixing than actually, using the notes.
Was there one specific moment, a final straw?
There was, yeah. I had this killer brainstorming session, got it all down in Obsidian, feeling great, super productive, saved it, went to bed.
The next morning.
Opened the note, half of it, just garbage, corrupted, gone.
Ouch.
Turns out, yeah, some plugin auto-updated overnight, caused a conflict with the sync. Poof, ideas just vanished.
Wow. Data loss is the worst, especially with personal notes. You said you felt tired, not angry.
Yeah, just weary, Like, I'd put so much trust in this system, built this whole thing, and it failed. It didn't just glitch, it actively lost my thoughts.
The tool became a liability.
Exactly. It wasn't helping anymore. It felt risky. That was the breaking point.
So after that, you weren't chasing the next shiny feature. You were looking for survival needs.
Totally. A shift in perspective, less cool features, more does this actually work reliably? I needed a workhorse, not just a show pony.
Makes sense. So what was on the checklist?
Okay, number 1, rock. Solid. Sync. Real time. Invisible. Good sync is invisible, right? That became my mantra.
Crucial. What else?
Cross-platform that's actually good everywhere, not just technically available, but usable. Native feel.
It's important for workflow.
Then easy backups. Open formats. I wanted ownership, no vendor lock-in, local files, reliable exports.
Yeah, the freedom.
Absolutely. Then fast search, like really fast. Fuzzy search. Gotta find stuff quickly.
It's not a requirement.
Minimal maintenance. I'm a builder, right? Not a plugin mechanic. I don't want to fix my Node app constantly. Get back to building.
And finally, privacy. Just baked in, by default. The goal was simple. An app that just disappears while I'm working.
Gets out of the way.
Yeah, because if your tools aren't making you faster, they're just slowing you down, period.
So armed with this checklist, you started looking at alternatives. What was that journey like? Notion came up. Tried Notion. Super powerful, yeah. But for quick notes, it felt like trying to assemble IKEA furniture during a house fire. Too much setup, too many clicks.
Right, overkill for simple capture.
Totally.
What about Logseq? Similar philosophy to Obsidian in some ways.
Logseq looked promising. Offline first, backlinks, graphs, checked a lot of boxes.
Right.
But the mobile app felt a bit clunky, honestly. And the sync, again, just felt a little beta. Still had that plugin instability worry, too.
Okay. The classics.
Yeah.
Evernote, Apple Notes.
Evernote just felt old, like walking into a dusty museum, and expensive for what it was. Apple Notes, beautiful, fast, yeah, if you live entirely in the Apple garden. But data portability, forget it. Felt locked tighter than a medieval castle, no thanks.
Yeah, lock-in is a big concern.
Tried standard notes too, super secure, which is great, but maybe too minimal for me at the time. Bear looked gorgeous, but no Windows version. Craft, stunning UI, but felt more like making presentations than taking notes.
So a lot of almosts.
A lot of almosts. It was like shopping for a gaming laptop where every single one had one deal-breaking flaw. This one overheats. That one has a terrible keyboard.
Gotcha. But then you mentioned Joplin had good vibes.
Yeah, Joplin started to stand out. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't some, VC-funded unicorn app promising the world.
Come on, down to earth?
Exactly. It felt simple, open source, maybe a little rugged around the edges, but it just worked. Really worked.
So how did it stack up against your checklist?
Pretty damn well, actually. Sync, total freedom, Dropbox, OneDrive, WebDAV, even your own server. No forced subscription. That was huge.
Control over sync.
Yes. Markdown. Pure Markdown. First and forever. My notes are readable text files even if Joplin disappears tomorrow.
Future-proofing.
Cross-platform. Actually done right. Native-feeling apps on Mac, Windows, Linux, iOS, Android. They all just work.
Consistency across devices.
And offline first. Notes are always local, always editable, internet or not. Plugins exist, but they're optional.
Like sprinkles on a solid cake.
Perfect analogy. The core app is strong on its own. You don't need plugins for it to be functional.
So the real-world experience, how's it been using Joplin day to day?
It's just quiet. It gets out of my way. I open it. I write. I find things. I close it. I'm thinking faster, writing faster because I'm not fighting the tool.
Sounds like it achieved that goal of disappearing.
It really did. Look, it's not perfect. There are some minor UI things, little rough patches here and there.
No tool is perfect.
Right. But compared to the constant low-level anxiety of potential data loss or breakage with the old system, it's night and day. It's like switching from that duct tape spaceship to a rugged pickup truck that just starts every single time.
Reliability over flashiness.
That's the core of it. So yeah, wrapping this up, leaving Obsidian, it wasn't some angry reach quit. It felt more like leveling up in a game and realizing your old gear just doesn't cut it anymore, a natural progression.
That makes sense. Tools are often for seasons, and outgrowing one just means you've learned and your needs have changed.
Exactly, and I am grateful to Obsidian, honestly. It taught me about networked notes, the power of plain text. I learned a ton about workflows from that whole experience.
Valuable lessons learned.
For sure.
Yeah.
But my season changed. My needs changed. And hey, if you're listening and feeling some of those same frustrations, the sync headaches, the plugin juggling, the fear of updates, maybe it's your season to rethink things too.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. We've put links in the description, by the way. Obsidian, Joplin, Logseq, standard notes, some stuff on Zettelkasten. Tiago Forte is building a second brain if you want to explore.
Helpful resources.
Definitely check them out. And maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. Take a hard look at your own tools. Are you spending more time tweaking and optimizing them than actually using them to get stuff done?
A very relevant question in the developer world.
For sure. Worth pondering. Okay, that's it for this deep dive. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to Run It Bear. Like, subscribe, and share. For more interesting deep dives, join our blog. Link is in description. Catch you next time.